Hi. So we have already gone through how an ellipse is formed, right? Now let us understand what is the definition of ellipse. Now the ellipse can be defined in such a way that it is a collection of points whose distance from a fixed point bears a constant ratio with the distance from a fixed line. Now let us understand what does it mean. Suppose we have a fixed point, the fixed point is definitely called as focus, and we have a fixed line that is called as directrix. Now if I take a point whose distance from the fixed point is 1 unit and whose distance from the fixed line is 2 units. So the ratio is 1:2, right? Now we'll take another point whose distance from the fixed point is 2 units and the distance from the fixed line is 4 units. So the ratio will be 1:2. We get the second point. Exactly in the same way we can plot many points whose ratio from the fixed point to the fixed line is 1:2. And if we join all those points, the shape which we get is an ellipse. And this ratio 1:2 is called as eccentricity. Okay? So the eccentricity is the ratio of the distance of a point from a fixed point to the distance from the fixed line. And in an ellipse, the value of eccentricity is always less than 1. Okay? So once you know what is an ellipse, now let us understand what are different parts of an ellipse. Now you can see this ellipse is symmetric on the x-axis as well as on the y-axis, right? So this ellipse has two foci, two vertices and two directrix as well as two latus rectums. Now its intercept on the x-axis is different and intercept on the y-axis is different, unlike the circle, right? So the distance is denoted by small alphabet a on the x-axis and the distance on the y-axis is denoted by b. So the coordinates of the vertices is a comma 0. Okay, now the y-axis is 0 comma b. Exactly in the same way as the distance is a on the right side, it should be same on the other side as well. So the distance is same a and hence the coordinates of the other vertex is minus a comma 0. Okay, so the two vertices is a comma 0 and minus a comma 0. Now once we know the vertices, let's look on to the coordinates of foci. Now we know what is the eccentricity, right? So the coordinates of foci is ae comma 0 and minus ae comma 0 on both the sides, on the positive side as well as on the negative side. The equation of directrix is given by x is equal to a by e and x is equal to minus a by e. So we have the equation of directrix now. Now as the length, you can see this length on the x-axis is a on both the sides. So that total length is called as the major axis of the ellipse. So what should be the length of major axis? It should be 2a and the length of minor axis should be 2b, which is on the y-axis. Now the length of latus rectum is given by 2b square by a, and the most important formula of eccentricity, how do we calculate eccentricity if you know what is the equation of ellipse? It is given by root of a square minus b square upon a. Okay, and the general equation of ellipse looks like this. It is x square upon a square plus y square upon b square is equal to 1. So these are the different parts of the ellipse which we need to understand. Now just as the same way we had 4 different type of parabolas, we have 2 different types of ellipse. This one is the horizontal ellipse and of course the other one will be a vertical ellipse. So just make a note of the changes which occurs in the coordinates of the foci, the vertices, the equation of directrix and the length of latus rectum of the horizontal and the vertical ellipse. Now let us have a simple example to understand how do we find all the parts of an ellipse. Now consider an ellipse with an equation x square by 25 plus y square by 9 is equal to 1, and we have to find all the different parts of the ellipse which we have just labeled. So first thing we need to do is to compare the equation with the general equation, that is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. So we get the value of a as 5 and the value of b as 3. Now we need to decide which type of ellipse is this. Is it a vertical one or a horizontal one? You can see the value of a is greater than the value of b. Hence, it is a horizontal ellipse. The value on the x axis is greater than the value on the y axis. So, we use the set of formulas which we have written for the horizontal ellipse. We will first calculate eccentricity. The formula for eccentricity is root of a square minus b square upon a. We will substitute the values and we will get the value of eccentricity as 4 by 5. Then the vertices is a comma 0 and minus a comma 0, that is plus minus a comma 0. So, that will give you plus minus 5 comma 0. The coordinates of foci, that is plus minus a e comma 0. So, if you substitute the value of a and e, you will get plus minus 4 comma 0. Similarly, we can find the equation of directrix, which comes out to be x equal to plus minus 25 by 4. The length of major axis, which is 2a, that is 10 units. The length of minor axis, which is 2b, which is 3 units, which is 6 units. And the length of latus rectum, which is 2b square by a, that is 18 by 5 units. Now, apart from this, we can also be asked the distance between the foci. Now, you can see the foci. One of the focus is on the positive side, the distance is AE, and the other is on the negative side, the distance is again AE. So, AE plus AE will give you 2AE. So, the formula for distance between the foci is 2AE, that is 8 units, and the distance between the directrix is A by E plus A by E, that will give you 2A by E. That comes out to be 25 by 2 units. So, this is how you find the different parts of the ellipse if the equation of ellipse is given to you. We will solve many questions based on ellipse in coming sessions.